How's it going, everybody? My name is Kenrock, and today we're going to be going over the video that Jay the Great made on Fight Kage Sasuke versus specifically in this video he has it set for Sage Naruto, but I'm assuming what he's talking about here is Pain Naruto. I'm not gonna lie and act like I haven't seen a little bit of this video. I've seen a bit of it. So I have a good idea, and that's kind of why I'm assuming that it is based off that Naruto. But enough just talking. Let's get into the video, see what we think is right, see what we think is wrong, and go from there. And at the end of this, I'll go over how I feel.
Who told you to butt in? I'm just itching to kill you.
What is up, everybody? Jay the Great here, back with another Naruto related video. And in today's video, we'll be discussing 5 Kage Summit Sasuke versus Sage Mode Naruto from the Pain arc, both at full power. Now, unlike my last versus matchup video where it was quite one-sided, this one is quite contentious amongst the Naruto fandom, especially considering the impressive feats of both combatants achieved and who they achieved these feats against respectively. So as a result, this matchup is certainly a more intricate one to dissect and analyze. So this, along with the fact that many of you guys wanted me to do a versus matchup on this.
I mean, if that's how you feel, then already your thumbnail's a bit misleading. If you believe it's yourself to be contentious, if not, then whatever. But in that case, please don't make it sound like you care what the community thinks what isn't as contentious.
This very topic itself, I had to, of course, go ahead and make this very video here today. Now, to just jump straight into the meat and potatoes of this matchup, the speed scaling of these two will certainly heavily dictate who will win in this matchup, with both being highly known for their speed.
I mean, yes and no. You can have the speed, but if you can't hurt the other person, it's not going to matter as much, especially when it comes to someone like, in this case, both of them at this point in time, they don't have the best stamina considering the cost of their jutsu. Sage Mode has its timer, while the MS for Sasuke is so painful for him that it basically like destroys his body, and it uses so much chakra that he can't really use it for a long time. And then you add that with the fact that he will go blind over time the more it is used. So speed, yes, matters, but it doesn't matter in the sense that most other fights really matter.
Unironically enough. So let's first start out by scaling Sage Mode Naruto's speed, as I believe it is the most difficult of the two combatants to triangulate and accurately scale. Sage Mode Naruto's shining moment was obviously his battle with the 6 passive pain, but the reason it is difficult to accurately scale Sage Mode Naruto's speed is that Naruto was battling pain with an arbitrary level of fatigue, using an arbitrary amount of effort, with both variables being pivotal for assessing pain speed and transitively Naruto's speed as well.
Speed, probably not. It's not like that's the actual body. He's being remotely controlled by the actual Nagato. Now, his attacks might not have the same potency to them as they would the others, but there's no reason to say his physical stats and all that change here.
So early on in the battle between Naruto and Pain, we get a clarification on the state of mind both shinobi are in, with Pain being very determined as implied by Konan, but not quite bloodlusted, while similarly Naruto is also determined as evident by his entrance into Konoha when saving Tsunade. Hence, both were quite determined to get their objectives accomplished, with no clear indication of either having a mental amp or mental nerf. However, the major difference between the two combatants in this battle is their fatigue levels going into the actual battle. Now, on top of having the luxury of having prep time and intel on Pain thanks to Katsuyu, Naruto would go into the battle at full power, while conversely, Pain would go into it fatigued, expressing that Tendo Pain specifically is temporarily out of commission due to prolonged battle, as well as Konan indicating.
Well, it's not because of prolonged battle, it's just because of the chaotic Shinro Tensei that he launched. That one takes a lot more out of him, and takes longer for that one to recharge.
That the passive Pain are recovering slower, again, due to Pain's increasing fatigue.
When he focuses on Tendo, his jutsu's output is tremendous, but it's crazy. The other 5 are recovering more slowly than the last time. So he's just saying, like, the last time he did something like this, that the Pains are recovering slower than they did the last time that he'd done this, which makes sense considering that this jutsu is known to, like, shorten his lifespan, and it takes a tremendous amount of chakra. So if you have less chakra to control the things that are being made to control chakra, it would make sense that it would take a while.
From prolonged battle. So with that in mind, let's get into the actual speed feats of Naruto in his battle against Pain. Naruto was able to blitz the Astral Path when saving Tsunade from its attack,
Yeah.
with the Author Path being observably the second most physically capable path of Pain, being able to
fine with
blitz and sever Jiraiya's arm, and having adequate enough reaction speed to dodge Kakashi's Raikiri as well.
Okay, to be fair, he's not the only one to blitz on stage Jiraiya. He just happened to be the one to also take off a body part. And to be fair to Jiraiya at that point in time, he was distracted and thought he had already won the fight. I think it was not the Preda Path, the Animal Path was able to summon a giant panda to block Jiraiya's fastest, longest range jutsu.
He then goes on to successfully outspeed several more of the less physically capable paths of Pain until it comes down to just him and Tendo, where he is shortly defeated by Pain, as we all know. Now, Sage
That wasn't Sage Naruto, that was base Naruto.
Naruto versus Pain with this arbitrary amount of fatigue specifically indicates what seems to be a relative level of speed, where it is quite clear that Tendo's perception speed is superior to Naruto's reaction speed, as if he is caught in Pain's universal pull and universal push, which makes sense logically, as well as perception speed is typically.
The universal pull was just because he was distracted on the old man frog, who I can't think of the name at the moment, and the universal push was just because Naruto wasn't fully aware of it and how it worked and all that. Outside of that, he doesn't really ever get hit by that again.
Typically above reaction speed for most combatants that possess relative reaction speeds. So that is around the range of speed Sage Mode Naruto is at. So now taking a look.
Okay, now how fast is Pain though? Because you got him around Pain level, but how fast is Pain? Well, we know he should at least be relative to Nagato, since, like you admit, he's the one who controls them and all that. So it makes sense that they should have relativistic speed to him, since that would be the reaction time we're going off of. And Nagato's able to react to like KCM level characters. So I'm gonna sit here, since you didn't want to finish up that, and put Pain and like Sage and Naruto's like reaction at like KCM. They're not quite at that level of like speed and all that, but they can react to people on that level. So let's go to the Sasuke scaling.
Look at 5 Kage-sama Sasuke's speed scaling, we get a more thorough display and concise display, I might add, in comparison to Sage Mode Naruto with his battle against the 4th Raikage and company. In this battle, he shows blatant relativity to the Raikage in his V1 state, successfully being able to even dodge an attack and then follow up with his own, with the Raikage and V1 being relativistic to the speed of light.
Okay, this is the part that really made me actually have to react to this. I know there's a few times in other videos where I said this, but one of my biggest problems here is the last video you made covering a talk similar to this, where you did with Loco, you sat there and pointed out the fact that just because the databook says that they can do that with this specific scenario, it doesn't mean that they are. He was talking about this exactly as well. So now you're sitting there using stuff to prove a point that you've already said that you don't believe in. So either you were lying then or you're lying now.
According to the data books, with the same form being the one used when he would execute the double lariat, along with Killer B when they would decapitate Kisame. However, once the Raikage enters his V2 stage, as evident both observably and by C's implication, Sasuke is no longer able to react to him and only survives thanks to the exoskeleton defense of his Susanoo, indicating that he is blatantly below the speed of the Raikage's V2 speed. Hence, like I said, Sasuke's speed scaling is much easier to analyze and conclude on, with him being.
But you haven't told us where they sit. You just go, they're relative to this person or they're not relative to this person. But we don't know where these people currently sit compared to each other, though, at least with the scaling that you have given. Now, for me to sit here and give my scaling, like I said before, Naruto should be able to react to Pain, who should have relativistic reaction times to that of Nagato, since Nagato is the one controlling them. Nagato has KCM 1 levels of reaction times. The reason why this matters is because Sasuke can't really react to A's V2, who is shown relativistic or slightly slower than that of KCM 1. So that would mean that Naruto should have the superior reaction speed. Even if Sasuke is slightly faster as far as like jutsu and all that, which you haven't demonstrated here, Naruto would still have the superior reaction capability and should be able to react to everything Sasuke does.
Somewhere in the ballpark of speeds relativistic to the speed of light, give or take. Now, the next aspect I want to discuss is the narrative representation of these two shinobi, and I think the best way to start the discussion for this aspect is to discuss this short-lived altercation Naruto and Sasuke have when Naruto saves Sakura from Sasuke, as well as clear up some misconceptions many seem to have due to this very altercation. Firstly, it is important to note that only Sasuke had killer intent in this instance,
Yeah.
as Naruto even exited Sage Mode most likely voluntarily prior to confronting Sasuke, which seems like a fact many people tend to overlook, further indicating Naruto's intention to not kill Sasuke. Now, in this altercation, Naruto states that if he and Sasuke were to fight, they would both die, essentially implying that he would die trying to save Sasuke, with Sasuke dying from the battle as well.
Yes, but you're also ignoring the fact that, like, around this point in time, I can't remember if it was before this panel or after this panel, Naruto and Sasuke are having a conversation, and Sasuke literally says, "Hey, you're going to have to kill me because I'm not coming back." Naruto says, "No, I'm not going to do that." And then Sasuke goes, "Okay, then you need to let me kill you then because I'm not coming back." And Naruto goes, "No, I'm not going to let you kill me either. I'd rather us both die if you refuse to come back because I'm not going to fail you." So this isn't Naruto like admitting like inferiority or anything at this point in time, or that he's so powerful that they both would just die from the battle. He's just saying, like, hey, if it comes down to this, I'm not letting either of us walk away.
Now, what makes it hard to determine what Naruto exactly meant here is he seems to be willing to battle Sasuke in this very moment, but then even says if we were to fight someday,
if you invade Konoha, I will fight you. Until that day, you need to keep your hate in check and throw it all at me. Then I am the only one who can handle all that hate. Only I can fulfill that duty. I will
and you, Sasuke, attack Konoha, then I will take all your hate and we will die together, again implying he believes them to be relative. Hence,
well, that's not a power thing, though. I mean, maybe he thinks they're relative. That's fine. But he's just flat out saying, like, hey, I'm the only one who can understand, like, the pain that you're going through. He's not talking about, like, raw power or anything here, and there's nothing to suggest that. He's talking about, like, the hatred that Sasuke feels towards everyone.
What we can safely conclude is that he believes that he is relative enough with his current level of skill to stalemate Sasuke, and believes that to be true whether they fight now or at a later date at full power. However, where the misconception really comes from is Naruto's statement, where he is essentially saying he needs a Nine-Tails power in order to beat Sasuke, with him remembering Sasuke in his blinded state, leading to the misconception that Naruto, even in Sage Mode, would be unable to defeat and even blind Sasuke. Now, firstly, he is more than intelligent enough to deduce that Sasuke will heal, regain full power somehow, and be prepared for battle next time they confront each other, meaning it is immensely unlikely that he is suggesting that he is unable to defeat even a blind, weakened Sasuke. And for those that try to refute me and say, well, Naruto, when confronting Sasuke when he was blinded, also said he would stalemate Sasuke here as well. Remember that Naruto lacked killer intent and will most likely not even enter Sage Mode in this instance to avoid killing Sasuke in the event they were to battle at that point in time. But yeah, I just wanted to clear that up, folks, and that misconception, as it seems quite common in the family.
So I agree that it's a misconception, but like I was telling Bats the other day, I don't think it's a misconception on the idea that Naruto thinks like he needs that power in order to beat him. So there's this narrative throughout Naruto that you can't overcome hate with pure force. It's present in the Pain arc. It's present kind of in the arc right before that where Sasuke goes to fight Itachi. Nine-Tails' whole theme is just he is the being which personifies hate. Naruto, just previous to that, like you showed, is talking about how like only he can withstand the hatred of Sasuke. So we have this overall theme of hatred and needing to find a way to overcome it. So when Naruto's in there talking about, I need the Nine-Tails power to beat Sasuke, he's not talking about like the raw power. He's talking about the power of knowing how to control hatred. Because right after this, we actually see the panel where Naruto sits there and says he will learn to overcome this power in order to help Sasuke. Meaning he's clearly indicating the hatred that the Nine-Tails represents and hatred in a whole. Which once again, like I was talking about with Pain, it's what Naruto like promises to deal with, is the cycle of hatred.
Fandom. But getting back to the overall narrative representation of these two, to give a quick overview, starting out with Naruto again, we see multiple statements suggesting or blatantly indicating that he has surpassed his predecessors in terms of Sage Mode proficiency and assigning tier level of power overall, being a perfect sage, with this being a feat and level of power Jiraiya wasn't able to reach with his time as a shinobi. Hence, it is quite clear that Naruto is significantly above Sannin level.
Minato also had sage capabilities, and it's just also being admitted that he was above him. I don't know why you're specifically going, oh, he's above Sani when we have Kage, who's above that, and Kage that even you believe to be one of the higher levels on that scale. It's just weird that you would actively choose to ignore that.
Especially in considering the success he had against Pain in comparison to Jiraiya, with Pain himself even iterating that Naruto in Sage Mode pushed him harder than any other opponent ever has previously, which also indicates that when he iterated that if Jiraiya knew of his secret he would have lost, he's actually implying that Jiraiya would have had prep time and most likely gathered allies to take him down, as opposed to implying Jiraiya would have simply defeated him one-on-one, which is an important observation and many seem to miss or overlook as well.
It's also just as likely as he just wouldn't have dropped his guard when he did. Maybe he would have tried to use like Frog's song to like beat all 6 of them. Whether or not that would have worked, I don't know. There's no reason to say it wouldn't, but that's also very possible. Sorry, I hit my mic.
With Sasuke, we don't get blatant comparisons to his predecessors or mentors, but we do get these sort of more subtle statements implying his growth as a shinobi and in overall power, such as when Karin states his chakra is denser and colder, even compared to when he is in his Curse Mark II stage. However, the most blatant indication of his caliber is clearly his performance against the Raikage, competing with him even in his V2 state, which garnered him praise from various people observing the battle, such as C and the samurai that were present there as well.
But you admitted at the beginning of this, like, Sasuke didn't really get the ability to actually fight him like that. In fact, he gets bullied. The only reason why he would have won that fight or, like, stalemated it is just because he coded his Shushino and Amaterasu, and he just was dumb enough to just keep attacking it.
This, along with his performance and victory over a blatant Kage-level combatant in Danzo, propelled him into the upper echelon of shinobi in the shinobi world.
His victory against Danzo, I mean, it's impressive, but Danzo isn't exactly the most powerful of shinobi. I mean, he's powerful for their level, but he still should be like weaker than people like Hiruzen, who Sage Naruto should just be above. But anyway.
Therefore, it is quite apparent that Sasuke during the Five Kage Summit quickly became one of the fastest shinobi on Earth, as well as one of the most powerful, going toe-to-toe with multiple Kage-level threats throughout the Five Kage Summit.
Throughout the Five Kage Summit, he never actually competed in a fair one-on-one scenario. He had Sugetsu and Jigen help to fight off A. Yes, this was way not going full out, but that's the thing. He wasn't going full out, and he still needed that support there. A's team kind of gets taken out kind of early, but even if you want to ignore that, Mai was able to bring Sasuke to the point where like he was going to get melted away by her breath. It took Sugetsu to like absorb her chakra and give it back to him. And even then, he almost got killed by Inoki, only being saved by Obito. And Gaara was just flat out able to react to Sasuke with his sand and everything. By the time it gets to the Danzo fight and all that, I mean, he got revived by Kirin. I'm not going to say he had a bunch of help against him, because Danzo he didn't really have a whole bunch of help against. But you could argue Danzo might not be the best as far as like physically combatant out of all the Kage. Gaara, A, and Inoki definitely should be able to beat him with not too many problems. You could argue Mai's weaker than Danzo, but that's kind of more questionable. The only thing he really has over her is the ability that he can come back to life over and over again with the Izanagi. But, I mean, he still would be showing inferiority. I don't know.
Summit and living to tell the tale. Now, the final scaling aspects worth discussing before I give my actual conclusion on who would win this matchup is AP and durability, with me discussing both of these aspects in conjunction as they correlate to each other, as we all know. Naruto in Sage Mode has an amplification in physical prowess, from his physical strength to his durability, with him being able to throw multiple ton rhinos in the air with ease, being impervious to high amounts of physical damage, such as when he effortlessly parries and breaks Pain's chakra rods, which were even capable of disabling imperfect Sage Mode Jiraiya, and having enhanced reactionary and perception speed, as evident by his performance against Pain.
Pain just admits he's not capable of hurting Sage Naruto because of how durable he is. He has to absorb the Sage chakra off of Naruto before he's willing to even give a chance to hurt him. And that's what gives Naruto the chance to take out one that Pain's actually, because he keeps just forcing Sage Jutsu down it.
Additionally, he would possess various abilities that would one-shot most shinobi in the burst, such as his Rasengan variations and Rasen Shuriken, which affects opponents on a cellular level, making it very potent against most. Now, when it comes...
Okay, so you're just going to ignore some instead. Okay, I'm not going to. So he's got Gamabunta, not Gamakichi, the 3 giant toads. They should all have relativistic levels to people like Manda, who are like blatantly within the rounds of like Sonic levels, considering that even like Jiraiya is afraid of his frog, and all the Sonic are just relative to each other. So he's got 3 Sonic level creatures that he can summon and drop within the battle. And then he's got Monpaw, who he can also summon, who are just blatantly above those guys, who also possess that of Frog Song. Now, you can sit there and say it's unfair that he would get these things, but they're within his arsenal and within him to be able to use. So it's actually unfair to sit there and say he can't do it just because you want to give Sasuke some sort of advantage. Of course, Sasuke at this point in time can summon his eagle, and I think he has another snake at this point in time. I don't remember, but he has a few summons that he can drop out as well, but they're just not near that power. And that's more on Sasuke than it is to punish Naruto for it.
When it comes to Sasuke himself physically, he doesn't have nor possess the physical prowess that Seijun Naruto does, but his various hacks abilities more than make up for that. With only his Susanoo ribcage awakened,
what hacks though?
He is able to withstand blows from the Raikage in V1 and even V2 before the battle is interrupted by Gaara, indicating that the durability of his fully awakened Susanoo, which we observed shortly after, would more than likely tank at least a few strikes from the Raikage in his V2 form, which is...
Well, I mean, what's your reasoning to say he's like throwing his hits as hard as possible? That's my question. But even then, like, the Raikage doesn't hit as hard as, say, Naruto does, because Tsunade hits harder than the Raikage. So it's not as impressive as you're making out to be.
It's insanely impressive considering how physically fast and powerful the Raikage is. Additionally, with his ability to use and manipulate Amaterasu on even a greater scale than Itachi was able to, according to C, he possesses flames that incinerate almost any shinobi they come into contact with. And while this isn't AP, it is still worth mentioning as an ability, as this ability would literally one-shot most of the verse, as only the user himself or herself can extinguish the flames. So with all that being said, who would win? Well, this matchup, as I implied early in this video, really does come down to the speed, and truth be told, empirically...
No, it really doesn't. Naruto has ways to get around people who are faster than him. He does it multiple times without failures. He does it with his fight with Pain.
Sasuke just has the better showing. Naruto against Pain, even in Sage mode, didn't have much success, specifically against Tendo Pain, who truthfully sort of manhandled him with his universal push and...
He only was able to do that when Naruto wasn't fully aware or wasn't fully paying attention. When Sage Naruto is, he's able to react to Pain like almost blow for blow. The reason why that's important, like I said earlier, Pain should have the reactive capabilities of that of Nagato, who even in Edo state was able to react to KCM level characters. This is important because this KCM level speed, at least according to you, because I know you agreed to this, is like Minato levels. That's impressive because A speed 2, who Sasuke was struggling against, is still slower than this level of speed. And then we know, like I just said, Sasuke struggles with even that level of speed. So Naruto should be able to react to people who are much faster than that, of people who are bullying Sasuke. We even see that during the war. Sage Naruto is able to react and counter like people like A the Third, who have these like massive light, like the same jutsu as A the Fourth. So to sit there and say Sasuke is faster because of this showing without going into the full details kind of shows like you're kind of slipping up here with some sort of bias or something. Or as you would say, you're being disingenuous. No, that's not the word you use, but you know what I mean. You're not fully painting the full picture here.
Pull, even being able to react and withstand strikes from Sage Mode Naruto, while fatigued from prolonged battle, as we know. Sasuke was able to go toe-to-toe with the Raikage in his V1 state at full power, again, being relativistic to the speed of light, and blatant.
Again, you've admitted in your previous video that just because that statement in that data book says that, it doesn't mean that A at that point in time was going that fast and you couldn't prove it. You use the exact same evidence that you criticize other people for doing. And if we sit there and say it's true, that it was going at its full speed, I've already shown you and told you and proven to you why that wouldn't matter, because even his full speed is still slower to that of what Sage Naruto should be able to react to.
One of the fastest shinobi on Earth when at full power. Additionally, the Raikage had full intent to kill Sasuke, while conversely, Pain did not, wanting to capture Naruto alive to extract the Nine Tails. Hence, Sasuke in this battle would have the speed advantage. Now, even if he argued that Sage Mode Naruto and 5 Kage-Summon Sasuke have relative speed, because it is Pain that Naruto fought at the end of the day, time would not be on his side, as he would only have 5 minutes maximum to end the battle, and only a maximum of 15 or so if we grant him additional prep time with clones to replenish his nature energy.
All he would have to do is get behind Sasuke if he puts the Shushino up and hit him with a Rasen Shuriken. If he doesn't put up the Shushino, then all he has to do is hit him with a Rasen Shuriken. Sasuke has no way of dealing with that. Even if he hits the Shushino dead on, the Shushino is so painful to Sasuke that if he gets hit with a Rasen Shuriken, he's not going to be able to withhold it because of how painful it would be for his body to take it in. We know that pain and all that can disperse the Shushino. We've seen it.
Now, in character, Sasuke would be able to deduce Naruto's new form and would certainly be wary of his capabilities.
Why would he be able to deduce it? He wasn't really able to do it with Sage Kabuto. Why would he be able to figure out how this Sage mode works?
Throwing up his Susanoo, which is very in character for him based on his battles against the Raikage and even Danzo respectively. Now, to be fair to Naruto, he would also be wary once he observes Sasuke possessing the MS, as he's seen what people who possess it are capable of, such as Kakashi and Itachi, meaning he would avoid the Genjutsu threat as much as possible by exploiting the capabilities of Sage Mode, where he would fight blind.
Why wouldn't he summon the... That is such a stretch right there. He would know that you'd have to keep the pressure on, and he also has, at the very least, he's under the impression that MS and Sharingan Genjutsu is useless in a multiple team scenario. If anything, he would definitely drop the Toads because he knows that it will make it so that if someone does get caught, they can break them out. And he knows Sasuke doesn't have something like Tsukiyomi. There's also the thing with like Ma and Pa, who also probably know the thing about Genjutsu as well. And there's no reason why Naruto wouldn't believe that. So even if he doesn't summon the big ones, why wouldn't he summon Ma and Pa, who also have their own like specialized form of Genjutsu?
And use Sage Mode's sensory ability to engage in combat instead of eyesight. However, the odds are certainly against him, with Sasuke's speed advantage and the various one-shot abilities he possesses, with Naruto's best win condition being a Rasen Shuriken possibly hitting Sasuke, with that even being highly unlikely again.
Okay, so the passive Pain are able to survive hits from Sage, Jiraiya, and even like Jinchurikis. So if we sit there and say that to be the case, then that would mean that they have like that level of durability, and Frog Kumite is able to one-shot these passive Pains. So if Naruto runs up and he throws a punch, and Sasuke doesn't have his Shushino up, and he just thinks he can avoid it, and he gets hit with this like Jinchuriki level destroying attack, there's nothing to say his body can withstand that level of force. So no, he has other stuff within him, and that's just like being hit by like an extension of stuff. Like his pure like hands and all that should be able to do that stuff as well. He could also drop a giant totem at him as well. I actually can't think a whole lot of Naruto's other jutsus, but he has other ways of beating Sasuke than just the Rasen Shuriken.
And due to the high defensive capabilities of Sasuke and his speed, if Naruto is in character, he wouldn't use this attack anyway, as he wouldn't risk possibly killing Sasuke if it were to theoretically work and bypass Sasuke's Susanoo. Additionally, if Sasuke even partially lands any amount of Amaterasu.
Well, okay. If we're going in character, sure, he'll hold back. But he'd be able to hold back in such a way that he doesn't kill him by just causing him so much pain that he can't fight back. Or doing what he says he would have done in the village, in the valley, and breaking his limbs. Naruto has the speed advantage, the raw durability advantage, the power advantage to do this.
On Naruto, he would be defeated, as again, only the user can extinguish the flames, as we all know, with Naruto not yet having control over the Nine Tails' power to aid him at this point in time. Hence, with all the advantages Sasuke has, which again include his speed, hacks abilities, etc.
What hacks abilities? You never told us what the hacks is where they gave him the advantage.
He would come out on top in this battle more times than not, especially if they are fighting a character with Naruto lacking killer intent. And there you guys have it, folks. That is the video.
Okay. Well, that was definitely a thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to looking for stuff that I can react to and all that. I have a few things on my list, but if you have something that you think I should definitely react to, go ahead and send it to me. I'm in Jay's Discord. I'm in Bat's Discord. I have my own Discord. It's in my bio. This is Ken Rock out. Thanks. All of you have a good day.